This
excited
conference will
to
now be recorded.
have this webinar about securing Social Security for today, tomorrow, and for the future. And this is a different topic and I think working with Tadas, who is our presenter, and he presents at our first time homebuyer workshops representing Farmers Insurance. And reviewing with him, there is a lot of different nuances in regards to Social Security and how the like understanding like the access to the benefits of Social Security, like not only for yourself, but then as well as your spouse, as a widower. So it's a lot of great information that he's going to share. This webinar is being recorded, so that if you want to share with some of your colleagues, or if you want to refer back to, we will definitely give you the access to the webinar. So I welcome Tadas, and take it away.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you. First of all, I want to appreciate for you that giving me this opportunity. And another one thing that Social Security, I think today is very important topic, and that's why I am getting more and more involved in that, because I see that people basically forgetting about this and not looking in the future. And I see that right now in our society, it's a big problem. And what does it mean? So I want to just go through these slides, just share some of my knowledge, and maybe people, somebody gonna be thinking about that. So can I get the next slide?
Sure.
So we're gonna start from history. And as you see, can you just go, and just like you see payroll taxes, what happened in 1940s, like 17 years, 18 years ago, what we were paying like 2% of our payroll. Today we're paying 15%. Our earning cap in 1940s was 3,000. Now is actually today is a change from 128 to 132,000. So and total beneficiaries, which is like you see, it's in 1940 it was like more than 200,000, and in today is like more than 67 million. So what does it mean that you see that and work ratio is like how is it different it is. So basically what I want to say by this, like workforce we getting less and less. So what does it mean? We're getting less money in our funds, government fund, and with beneficiaries, it's getting more. And so what does it mean? Government have to pay more money. And like you see in this last 70 years, how big different it is. So in 40s, see we like 149 went to the tax, which right now just 3 people works and 1 is retired. So it's big different in ratio. Can I get next slide?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And also.
Yeah, and this is basically which is average retire benefit in 40s was like $22, which is like at that time it was a lot of money. Today is 1,400, which I say, do you really think it's 1,400 is enough? So but this is basically in United States, which average in Social Security. Can I get next slide, Ken? Yeah, so this is basically what I'm very recommending for each individual. Just go on this site, www.ssa.gov, my account, and there you can create your account and you can see all your benefits. So you can see what is your Social Security. Where you're standing, so what's going on. And some people, they forgetting about this. They just then they get by retirement, then we 60s whatever, and they trying just to see what's going on, which is, I think it's maybe sometimes it's too late. So I'm all the time saying try or get used to once a year, just check that and what's going on in your Social Security benefits. Can I get the next slide? Yeah, so what is Social Security? So this is basically three main stuff. So one is government sponsored. So what does it mean? Like, whatever we're paying taxes on our payroll, so government gets money, and after that, government, pays for us when we get to the retirement, and depend on your age and where you're at. For other people, like, Social Security is like lifetime retirement income. So it means like, this is just one resource, sources from where they're getting income, and this is on what they're counting, and which is basically right now, especially a lot of people depend on that. So, and third thing is inflation adjusted. So it's, in other words, it's COLA, is like, cost of living adjustment. So Social Security every year we're doing adjustments based on inflation. So usually, like, so inflation 2-3%. So this is what Social Security does at the same time. They, like, if this year you got, or last year, let's say, got $1,000 a month. So if COLA said, okay, this year we're gonna increase by 2-3%. So this year you're gonna get 1,000 plus 3% of your 1,000. So this is, and they're doing every year adjustments. Can I get next slide?
Mhm.
Okay, this is one what it says, like, you see, and basically what it says, like, the biggest impact on Social Security is demographic. So, and one of them is life expectancy. It's increasing, and at the same time, was slight decline in birth rate. So, what does it mean? Like, the people more increasing longevity. Social Security have to pay more money for more time, more years, and in the same time, if birth rate is decline, means there is like fewer, just a couple individuals who entering workforce in our economy, or like, in our aging population. So this issues, and basically, if we're not going to do any changes and based on the current law, so in 2034, what do you see? The payroll taxes collected just be enough to pay 79 cents per dollar. So, like, for example, in 2034, if you're expecting to get $100 in your Social Security, and if government don't do any changes, you just be getting $79. So $21, we're going to be short on that. Or in other words, we have to do something, to solve that problem. And one of the problem, like, on this slide, what it says, so one of the within Washington, what we're talking, they want to increase tax by 2.84% on your taxable payroll. So it means, like, half pays employee and another half pays employer. So, like, what's 1.3 and 1.3? Or another thing, what we're saying, maybe just to eliminate this income cap, which we talked about 132,000 right now. So maybe we're gonna eliminate from that. So it can get more money in your and Social Security from wages. Next slide. No,
Oh,
one
I'm going
more.
backward.
You're going backward.
Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah, this one slide. This one, so like, you see what I want to see on that slide, show on this slide. You see the who born in 1937 and earlier, and who born in 1960s and later. In that time of period, which is almost like 20 years, you see how it's changed full retirement age. So, like, say in 20 years, from 65, it became 67. So, in other words, say what's going to happen who born in 1970? What does it say if who born in 1980s? It's going to be maybe full retirement age, not 68, not 67. It's going to be maybe 68, maybe 69, maybe it's going to be 70. Like, for example, I born in 1980, so maybe going to say your full retirement age is going to be 70 something. So this is factors which we have to look into that, because and think about this. Can I get next slide? So this is basically what it means full retirement age. So full retirement age, like, when you can eligible for 100% of your benefits, and in, like, the slide before, it's based depend on when you're born, and this is your age when you can get full retirement benefits. Another thing, like, say what I marked, like, so your spouse eligible for 50% of your benefits. If you were divorced, or like your divorced spouse, too, she's eligible for 50% of your benefits. And if some, like, you, or like, a widower is eligible for 100%, or divorced spouse of your benefits. Can I get the next slide? Okay, so this is, like, you see, basically what it says: when is good time to file for your Social Security benefits? And actually, I believe nobody can tell you, but there is some statistics, especially right now, and they changed because when we spoke, before, people, medicine is improved, people live longer, and in these factors, we have to look into those factors. And one of them is saying, like, 65 years old couple with average health, there is 50% chance that one of them is going to be living till 93, and one of four is going to be living till 97. See, age 97 or maybe more. So the point is of this, which I'm going to address later on. If you're going to start your early your retirement, let's say at 62, and if you're going to be living next 30 years, how much the benefit by how much is going to be decreased, and how much money in long term you're going to lose. So, and another which says, when is a good time to take benefits, or if you need it, so, like, to wait as long as you possible, but nobody can tell you, wait till that day and just claim that benefit. If you really need that, you have to claim it. But again, you have to look into other factors, like, like, for example, if your parents, for example, they still live the 90s, 95, usually is high probability that you're going to be the same thing. You're going to be living until 95 or maybe more, So you have to make really good decision before you applying or claiming your Social Security benefit. Or like another words, like, say, if your health is no good, I don't know, with other example, cancer or something, and your parents, short living or something. So again, maybe it's better for you to claim your Social Security benefits earlier, But basically right now, based on our medicine, it is improved and people live longer. All the advisors is suggesting that, wait as much as you can for claiming your Social Security benefits. Can I get next slide, please? Ken?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and one of this example, I think you can just go forward. Just okay, go forward. Okay, and stop there. So basically, like you see, Sarah, her date of birth is June 5th, 56. So her full retirement age is 66. Basically, based on her history, she paid taxes. So she's checked on her Social Security, and she says her full retirement benefit is $2,294 a month, which is mean what she gonna get a month. That she can get, if she decides, she can get earlier Social Security benefit at 62. But look, if she's trying to take at 62, her monthly benefit instead $2,294, it becomes $1,415. And look, another thing is, like, by age 80, she gets total with COLA, with this inflation adjustment, $403,000. By age 90, she gets $739,000. And if she says, okay, if she waited till her full retirement age, she would be getting $2,294. And look again, per shorter time period from 64 to 80, which is 14 years, she would be getting more money from Social Security, which is $472,000. And the same if she was 90 years old. And another option, which is called delayed retirement credit. So it means if your full retirement age is 66, and this example is Sarah, but she said, okay, she has some resources. Maybe her husband works. Maybe she has rental properties where she gets some income. She said, I don't want to file my, Social Security right now. I want to wait till 70. And you see what's happening. She waited 4 years or like 3 years, some month. Instead, getting a month, 2,294. She not would be getting $3,549. And you see, from 70 to 90, in 20 years, she gets total 1 million something. I mean, 1,100,000 some these numbers. And if she per 10 years, she was getting $495,000. So in the shorter time period, she gets more money. And the point mine is in there here, if she waited extra these 4 years, which you can get this called delay credit, delayed retirement credit. And if you, for example, live your life expectancy 95 till 95 years, you see with big impact. And we all of us counts on that. So it's really important, and I want to see that you see the difference when you claiming your Social Security. So if you claim it earlier, 62, you would be getting 1,400. If you waited 4 more years from your full retirement age, you would be getting 3,549. So it's big difference. Can I get next slide?
I think it's very shocking as far as even while they're age 80, 10 years after that she'll definitely earn more if she waited till at any age. So that's very
Yeah, and later on, which I'm gonna tell some factors which you have to okay, yeah. So you see, every time what we an average what it is, say your full retirement is 66. If you decided to take your Social Security at 65, your full retirement age benefit decreased by 8%. If you're gonna decide by 64, it's decreased again other 8%, so it's almost 60%. If you decide to at 63, it's again 8%. You multiply by 3. So every year you are trying to get your earlier Social Security benefit, it go down by 8% in average. So you see, every year you wait, you're getting 8% as interest, as income, in every month, which no any other say financial companies I mean, in average they may depend on what kind of fund you're gonna choose, but 8% is really good return on investment. Can I get the next slide?
I think I saw some report that said majority claim at age 62 and only 3% wait until the age 70. I don't know if you know exactly Tadas, the
Yeah, majority people because of situation, they trying to claim in the 62, and and because of life situation. But that's why my point, I'm trying, and I think you're gonna hear more and more about me or my this topic, which I'm trying to tell the people that they have to prepare for that. They have other say sources of income where we can get that. And say, for example, instead, when it's come this time is 62, maybe there is some other sources we can take some money and just wait for a couple more years, or for your full retirement age, or maybe plus this delay retirement credit, you can wait and you can get more income. So, but yeah, right now in America, what's happening, people, it's most majority takes early, and can you imagine, say, if they depend on this income, it's sad. It's sad, and it's and if you're talking about average, when we in the first slide, 1,400 a month. So if you're getting 30% less, so you're getting not 1,400, you're getting say $1,000 a month. So could you imagine getting right now $1,000 a month? It's fairly low. And you saw like Medicare, all the stuff, premium goes up. Like these description, all the stuff. The more people have to pay from your pocket. Uh, its situation is like say I would say it's changing a lot of things. But this slide, what it says, like for example, you started at 62, or like like for example, you started at 62, but because at that time you didn't have money, you lost the job, da, 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 da. But 5 months later on, somebody called you and said, "Hey, John, you want to come back? We give you a job, something like this," and you would say, "Yeah, sure," and you already decided your Social Security benefit early. So what you can do, if you fit in this criteria, I mean, so if you fit in less than 12 months, you can file request, withdraw of application. What you have to do, repay all benefits, whatever you got from the government, and Medicare. So Medicare is basically, I believe, if you were 65 and above, but your full retirement age is 67. So if you get any sum from that, you have to put this money back. Can I get next slide?
Yep.
Okay, if you at least you can suspend a benefit. Okay, yeah. So this is like no, slide before. Yeah. So what it says, like if you're full retirement age, but you're saying like when we spoke about this delay retirement credit. So you basically what you can do is basically contact your Social Security and tell them uh, stop my I don't want to receive a benefit, and that's it. And basically every month you delaying your uh, Social Security benefit, you're getting credit, and you can get credit by till 70s. After that, it basically doesn't make sense. I mean, you're not getting any credit. So usually when you got 70, you want to after that just you get try and get whatever you can get from Social Security. Because after that, if you're in 71 or 72 and you trying to delay your Social Security benefit, is you're not getting any credit from that. So at this current law, it's just 70. That's it. Till when you can get credit if you waited. Can I get next slide? Yeah, another example, like for example, Archie and Edith. So this what says Archie, like he was laid off. He used to work 20 years for some company, but he started his Social Security at 62 at that moment. Edith, she was a math teacher, but at that moment, when Archie was working, she didn't work for any company, so which means she didn't pay any payroll taxes. But 6 months later, she when Archie was laid off, she back worked for teachers, and she tried to get salary, bringing some income back to the home. That can I get next? Yeah, and this situation, like so what you see, Archie, like he wishes that he hadn't started Social Security, and in this situation, because he's already 63 and he started Social Security at 62, and when we spoke before, he was already it's more than 12 months. So in his case, he don't have any choice backing or like saying I want to stop and just something like this. So he has some option. Can I get next slide? Next slide. Next slide. So this is for example. So okay. Yeah. So this is says like when he started at age 62, which is his full retirement benefit is 1,800, but because of impact in his life, he started at 62. So his early Social Security is 1,358 a month. At the end, he's say 90. This is what he gets from Social Security, $701,000. Can I get next slide? And next. And this is called suspending benefit at full retirement age. This is basically the current law. It changed this is fits to the individuals who get 66 in 2016 by May 1st. If you say 66 by May 2nd or something, you can get that suspending benefit, which mean in his scenario, he started at 62 and he's 66. He still fits in this program, but let's say when he gets full retirement age, which is 66, he said, and his wife came back to work and says like, okay, how we can increase our social security benefit. So at this situation, he said, maybe we can stop to get my social security at 66, which he can do that, and wait till 70, which he getting this delay retirement credit, and plus call adjustment, living inflation. So and then when 70s, because when we looked before, his wife said, I'm going to work till 70. After 70, it's it. I'm done. So this is how they, went around, and just how they increased their social security benefit. So from 66 till 70, he suspended his benefit, and then he became 70. He said, okay, I want to start to take my social security benefit. And like you see, from 1,358, it's become 2,260. And at the end, if he lived till 90, he would be getting $802,000. Comparing if he didn't do nothing, can I get next slide?
Mm-hmm.
He would be getting just $701,000. But like I said, this is suspended benefit for individuals who born like 55 or 54 before that date, who's born like say 56, 57. That's it. You can get that benefit suspending. So can I get next slide? This is another simple, more example. Like for example, Ted and Alice. So let's say Ted, he was accountant. Accountants makes a fair amount of money. His both parents alive and active, and still in 90s. So based on that, we think that he's gonna be living, and as his parents. And his wife Alice, let's say she's 66, and but she was administrator. She was high earner. She makes a lot of money, in hospital. But her parents both died at 78, and still has heart disease on their record. So based on that, what we see and decide what's better to do in this situation. We can avoid that. Next slide. So saying, which better, who will start to file his social security benefit. And like, for example, option A, if you say like we see Alice full-time retirement benefit is 2,500. Ted full-time retirement is 1,800. So so if Alice starts, let's say we're starting with Alice. So at that day, Alice would getting 2,500. Can get next slide? Yeah, all of them. Can you like that? Mm-hmm. Okay. So I'm gonna try explain. It's gonna be these numbers a little bit confusing, but basically my point: if they started Alice benefits, so they would be getting 2,500 a month because they're eligible. They both at 66, they full retirement age. Is nothing, they're not losing any. There is no early retirement benefits. So if they taking Alice first, they're gonna get 2,500. By 70, it's become 2,814 because it's COLA, it's inflation, so adjusted every year, which is what's become. Ted, in Ted's situation, and like say, and here it says age 78, and what do we mean by age 78? Because we saw that Alice's parents lived till 78, so expect if Alice dies at 78, what would be happening? Which best way to who claim benefit? So in this situation, can I get next one more slide? Yeah, this one. In this option B, if Ted, like for example, Alice didn't take her benefit, but started with Ted, and you see by age 78, and you know what's becoming, because when Alice dies, Ted becomes widow. When he's become the widow, he gets 100% of his um, spouse or widow benefits. So in this case scenario, if he's starting with option A and he becomes widow, and if starting with Alice benefit, he would be getting at age 78 just $3,563. That if he choose option B, started with his benefit, but waited when Alice gonna get 70, she gets 100% of her widow, which is $4,704. So you see, at the beginning, maybe he will be losing, but we're talking because his parents still alive by 90s, and if he can be living till 90s or maybe more, it makes big impact. Instead getting 3,500 a month, and instead getting 4,700 a month, it's almost like 1,200. Can I get? Is there any questions on that? Ken, can I get next slide? Yeah, and you see the difference is 32%. This is another hypothetical illustration, and you see Liz and Richard. Can you get next slide? Okay, stop here. So in this situation, like you see, Liz is 62, Richard is 62. They both married. We got married when we were 20s. Divorced at 30 when we 32. Like Richard went somewhere in the military, came back after 12 years. They divorced, and after then divorced, Liz still she got 4 times married, and each of them is lasted from 2 to 8 years. Can I get next slide? Next slide, please. Yeah. Yeah. So this divorce spouse benefit, what does it mean? That you like the question is, can you get your spouse benefit if you divorced? And the answer is yes. But there are some requirements. You should be married with your ex for 10 years. If you married less than 10 years, then you're not eligible. So in this case scenario, like for example, Liz, she was married 5 times. But one time of these 5 times, she was married 10 years. So she eligible for Richard benefits. And Richard's full retirement benefit is $2,660, which if she would be filing her own, she would be get 800, but she eligible for 50% of the Richard. So it means like she can get $1,330 a month if she would be claiming Richard spouse benefit. And the earliest what she can claim when she's 62. Another case like, one more thing, like so if Liz get married with other spouse, she will be losing this benefit. She's gonna go under her new husband or new wife benefits. So as soon as if you're single, you can claim the highest benefits of your ex-spouse. But this ex-spouse, you should be married for 10 years at least. Can I get next slide? And I think, Ken, you asked me yesterday about do they have to file taxes jointly? And and question is no. As long as you can prove that we've been married for 10 years, you can claim your spouse benefit for your spouse benefits. So in other words, if you see your ex-husband, you've been with him more than 10 years, and his in this case scenario, Social Security is 2,000 or 3,000, you can get 50% of that. And basically ex-spouse, we're not going to find out about it. And there's no any impact on that. So in that case scenario, we're looking, is it Liz eligible for her own? Yes, she eligible because she had 10 years work experience and she had 40 credits. So again, to get Social Security, I don't know if you know, so you at least have to have 10 years work experience and you have to get 40 credits. And usually you can get 4 credits per year. So it's like 4 quarterly taxes, at least like 2,000 something you have to be paid in the system. But if you work like say less as 10 years and you don't have 40 credits, you're not going to be eligible for Social Security benefits. So this is number one. Okay, can I get next slide? Can Liz choose which benefit she wants? No, she basically what she gonna get the highest benefit. So in that case scenario, she's gonna get 50% of Richard. So what's gonna happen? She would be getting her 800 and whatever is different between Richard 50% and her. So like in her situation would be getting 800 and plus $530 additional from the from her spouse benefit. Is it Liz can get any benefits because she's delaying on her spouse? No, it's not going to be any changes on that. They used to have this law, but now not anymore. Can I get next slide? Yeah, we said like what leads to get larger Social Security benefits. So it's when they say you can remarry and make sure that your husband gets a larger Social Security than Richard. So yeah, can I get next slide? Yeah, this is a situation. Can we stay on this, Ken? So basically, no, one slide back. Can you?
Okay.
Yeah, this is basically in this situation. Liz was divorced spouse, yeah, and Richard was married with another wife. But what happened if Richard, like in this situation, went to Catalina for Iceland, and something happened overboard and he drowned? So Liz now becomes survivor widow. So can I get next slide?
Mm-hmm.
Next slide. Yeah, so she now eligible for surviving divorce spouse benefit, and which is when we spoke about that she can get 50% of that. Now she eligible for 100% of her ex or husband or wife benefits. So instead, when she talked, she would be getting like $1,300 something dollars. She now can get $2,660 of Richard because she becomes right now surviving divorce spouse. And the same thing with widower. So, like for example, if you married and your husband died, you can get 100% of your spouse. You can get both. Like say you can choose. Like say if your full retirement benefit is 1,000 and your husband or spouse is like say 2,000, you say I'm gonna get 3,000. No, you can just choose one, the highest benefit. So in this case scenario, they're gonna give you just 2,000. You can to take both of them. I think it's next slide. Does so. I mentioned about this. I think these numbers we can pass because I went through them and I think it's going to be so confusing for people. But but if she when she becomes a surviving divorce spouse, so she at 60, actually earliest she can file at 60. But in this case scenario, if she filing the 62, so she gets 30% less, which is 1,800. But don't focus on that. Can we get next slide? Which I think I'm almost finishing. Next slide. Yeah, so your Social Security benefits is based on how many years. So it's 35 years. So basically, what does Social Security? It counts of your 30 years experience. Like you must file Medicare at 65, and when you are still working, your premium will go up. So it's false. It's not going to go up. Is it like this one? If you own the IRS money, they can confiscate your entire Social Security check. It's false. They can take whatever. If you still own some money for your IRS, they can take all your entire Social Security check. They can get maybe withhold some maybe 10-50% of that of your every month, but they can't take all of your 100%. So if the question falls, yeah. For if you're for IRS 62 and you delay claiming Social Security, so like you see, this is a good question. What's the difference, by claiming your full retirement benefit at 62 and 70? And the question is what, 76%. So can you see like what's the difference, like basically in your monthly income by waiting 8 years. But question is how you can get to that. So there is some other resources or income, which is like maybe later on I'm gonna finish that. Can I get next slide? 5, so is it the worst spouse can get benefit based on my earning records, even the X not filed. We say true, and 6. If you wish to cancel this one, you can file by the request lump sum. It's 2 bit is you can get for 6 months the most, which you can get at a lump sum for your Social Security benefit. Can I get 7? Yeah, this is what I mean. 6 months. No, it's false. It's you basically every time when you checking your, which I told you the first slides, if you're going to this www.ssa.gov, there is all your benefits when you say when you're going to be full retirement age, at early retirement age, if you become disabled, or if you surviving spouse, or they're always listing, and it's really important. And like I said, you have to get used to every year just watch that, because this is your future. This is your future income, and you don't want to wait at the last minute or last days or before your retirement age. Can you get next slide? This is to receive no benefit. You have to be married to your spouse for at least 9 months, which is it's true. So and another thing, if you becoming surviving divorce spouse, so you have to be married at least 10 years to get 100% of your ex-spouse benefits. I went through everything. If anybody has any questions or something, so please let me know. I'll be glad, to assist. And like I said, the Social Security is really important topic, and I think this is my what I want to finish with that Social Security is not to be your only income for your retirement. It's basically just will replace just 40% of your annual pre-retirement earnings. So in other words, if you have just Social Security, and if you need more, what you can do in that, if you if you can work and something, and so there is some other options which I don't know. I'm saying private funds or something which you can we can help. Plus, I think next time I'm gonna be talking more about traditional IRA or Roth IRA. Can I get next slide?
Yeah.
Yeah, traditional IRA or Roth IRA. So, what is advantages and disadvantages is in tax purposes and for your income, for your retirement. So it's really good retirement planning, which people sometimes missing point, and they're not thinking about their future. Which like I said, I'm more and more getting knowledge and concentrating in that field, which I think is really important. And like you see, my name is Tadas, Brusokas, insurance agency. We located in 2811 Philmont Avenue, Huntington Valley. You can give us a call. You can email me. Like you see, we're doing home, auto, business, life. We're doing health. But if any question you want to come up, I can sit and go through with you through your And I can help you guys with Social Security. Go through your account. Just maybe go through that and maybe see is any other options for something which we can do about this. So I think I'm done for today. So if any questions, let me know, or call me or email me. I'd be glad to assist you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Tadas. Do we have any questions from our attendees? But I thought this presentation was very helpful. I mean, I certainly, as I said, when we got started, I definitely, when we went over this earlier, that definitely was back to learning as far as like the benefits of if you're, someone that's divorced can access the benefits of their ex-spouse as and how much they can obtain, and as well as like the cost of living adjustment. So this is always very helpful information.
Yeah, and most people, I think, I see by my experience, so if you get married, based on current law, if you married 9 years, for example, so don't rush
Mhm.
to get divorced. Wait to based on current law, you maybe because if you didn't work, you didn't have any Social Security credits, in jeopardy. But based on current law, you're eligible for 50% of your spouse benefits if you've been married for 10 years. Or, if you were ex or if you spouse, either way, yeah. So if you spouse, you have to be married 9 months. But if you ex-spouse, you should be married for 10 years.
Mhm.
Yeah, but as soon you get married with another spouse, you losing your ex-spouse benefits.
Mhm. Sure.
You should be single to get your ex-spouse benefits.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this has been a very good presentation, and I want to thank everyone for joining this webinar. And definitely, I'm going to plan to have another one in March. I think the planned topic will be revolving around the different down payment assistance resources that are available because First Run Door, particularly for first-time home buyers, is going to be coming out March 6th, and also with the new updates with the City of Philadelphia grant. That will probably be the planned webinar for the month of March. So, um, like, be on the lookout for the scheduled date and time for that webinar. But I want to thank you for joining us, and have a great rest of the day. So thank you very much, Tadas, for your
Thank you,
presentation.
Ken. Thanks for this opportunity. And if anybody has question, please email me or call me. I'd be glad to assist you or go over this Social Security or any retirement planning stuff. Thank you.
Excellent.
Have a good day.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Bye.